All right, welcome back to this tutorial series where we'll be creating a monster now. All right, so I want you to kind of get ahead of me in this video a little bit. And what I mean by that is try some things yourself before I kind of give you the answer. But don't worry, as we go along, I'll kind of tell you our next step. So that way we can kind of go in the same order. Okay, so our first step is to create our monster, our bear. We're going to create a bear in this game. So we want to create a unit bear that is an AI, that has health, that has an attack, and will attack other pigs. Okay, let's get to it. So what we'll do is we'll create a unit. This unit that we're going to create is a top-down unit, and this is going to be a bear. So let's rename it to bear. We'll change this to bear. We'll find our brown bear here, and there we go. We've now created our bear, but we want our attribute speed. I'm going to change this to, let's say, a little slower than our player so we can actually get away from it. And then the health, I'll leave this at 75. All right, so there we go. For the health, we want to make sure that this is visible. And that is it. So for the inventory size, we'll leave this at 1. And that's it, kind of. There is a bit more steps, but let's move on to the AI. We'll set this to true. Now in here, we're going to set this to fight. We're going to set this to wander. The max attack range, we're going to set this to 10. Saw someone in our game passing out a little. The max flee, we'll set this to 1,000. And we'll set this to fight. And then this to 150. Essentially, if we enter this range, we'll start fighting. Okay. Now, we can take a look at some other things, so like effects. In here on attacked, I'm going to set this to recoil. So when I attack, so the player attacks this bear, I'm going to recoil the bear. That way it looks like I'm actually attacking it. And that is pretty much it. We don't need to change anything else unless you'd like to. On destroy could do something, on idle doesn't really matter, it's up to you. And that is it for controls. We don't need any of this. If anything, we could just delete this. And that is it, I believe. Yeah. Okay, let's hit save and apply. And let's think. We want to add this to our game. How do we add this to our scripts? Okay, let's add our bear through the script. In our world script, in our spawn units, here, I can actually just duplicate this by copy. And then I think I can paste it up here actually. And instead of number of units of the pig, I'm going to change the pig to bear. I'm going to hit OK. And 5 might be a little too much. So maybe what we can do is do 3. 3 might actually still be too much, but the reason we're doing this is because in the future, I'm going to increase the map a little bit. Okay, let's create a bear. Otherwise, we would be creating pigs for infinite amount of time. The AI neutral, we're going to change this to a hostile. Hit save, and we can create it at a random position. And that's it for now. So let's hit save and apply, and hit republish. All right, so in our game, we now have some AI units. We have the bear kind of fighting in a sense. They're facing things. Now there is a problem, which seems that we have one too many bears. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I suppose that is actually kind of correct since we are creating it on the last one anyways. So that's okay for now. But what is our problem? Well, it doesn't attack, right? I think we can attack it. Yeah, there we go. You can see we can hit it. And eventually it won't die. Eventually it will. Well, actually it will die because if we look at our script here, when an attribute reaches 0 and its health, it will destroy. But we don't spawn anything, which is totally fine. But it's good that it dies. So that is good. Okay. But what is the other problem? Well, it doesn't attack anything. So what is our problem? Well, we don't have anything to attack with. We need to give our bear a weapon, essentially. Now, we're not going to give him a wooden sword because that would be a little strange. So instead, we're going to give a new item here. We're going to do melee item. And in here, I believe it is actually just called melee attack. So there we go. Here we can rename this to melee attack. And inside of this item, we're going to have a few things, and we can actually look at our animation. We don't even need to make it. But in case you wanted to try doing it yourself, yeah, here's your animation that you could try. But yeah, it just creates this second frame, third frame, and then fourth frame. Okay, so we can just hit cancel, and that's pretty much in our attack. So let's take a look at some of these other things. So controls, we can leave the same. We can go to weapon. This here we obviously is melee. This is good. Unit attributes 10, so that's how much damage the bear will do. We can leave it at 10. 10 is quite a bit, but it's totally fine. The effects, we might want to change something if we want. But for me, I'll leave it. We could change the on use, but I'm going to leave it. I think that's good. And that's it. So now what we want to do though, is we want to take a look at how to use this weapon with our bear, right? So our bear is created, but how do our bear use this? Well, in our bear, we can go down to the default items and select the melee attack. And now we can hit save and apply, hit republish, and see if this works. Okay, now that we've republished, we should see our bear in our game, and it doesn't actually work still. So it doesn't attack. Now, why is that? Well, the thing is, we didn't really create any like player types. Now, if we go to the player types, we have 2 right now, but the thing is, these don't really interact with each other. We haven't done anything with it. And more specifically, the global variables that we made don't do anything with each other. So, okay, the human player we can leave, but we're going to add a new one called hostile creeps. Now in here, we can now say if we can add diplomacy. So this is the fun part. Now we don't have a neutral creeps. That would be something we want to add to, but the human players we can add as hostile. Now the NPC we can do neutral. We don't want to start attacking NPCs. That'd be kind of chaotic. So here we can add a neutral creep. Here, what we can do is go to hostile, or no, sorry, we can actually save this, and then in our hostile creeps, we'll go to the one that we just made, this one, and set to hostile. Okay, so we have our neutral creeps and our human players as hostile. If you'd like, you could set the hostile creeps to hostile, so they start attacking each other, but I'm going to say that the bears like each other. You know, they're friends. So yeah, there we go. Now, one other one that we can add is resources, or if anything, we could actually change the NPC to resources. We're not going to have any NPCs in our game, but we're going to have resources. So I'm going to hit save on that, and that's it. So now that we have all these, we'll hit save, and in our player script, in our world script, I mean, we want to now assign some of these things to each other. Now here it says AI neutral to resources. Now that could work, and that's great, but we want to do the player and the bear and stuff that we just did. So in here, we're going to set the AI hostile to hostile creeps, the one we just made. And then we're going to copy this and paste. And the one that matters, because our AI hostile or our hostile creeps are hostile towards our neutral, we want to set our neutral. Set the AI neutral to, I'm going to change this to neutral creeps. There we go. And now we have our AI hostile is being assigned to the AI creeps, and then the AI neutral is being assigned to the neutral creeps. And because the hostile creeps are hostile, and it kind of feels weird to say that so many times, are essentially going to attack the neutral creeps. Okay. Now, that is pretty much it. So here you can see, though, that we have the assign last triggering player to human players. So this should be fine because we are essentially assigning that as well. And that will be it. So let's hit save and apply and republish and see if our bears start attacking the pigs. Okay, we can see that the bears just killed a little poor piggy. Lagging it just a little bit. The servers must be a little overloaded. Oh, and I just got attacked, but they are attacking the pigs. And now we have interactions. Oh, he just switched his attack to another pig. But yeah, so he just killed one pig right there. And the fun part about this is I can just go and pick up the meat and eat it. And there we go. We now have a somewhat working MMORPG. We have players being killed. We have the bears attacking. You can see if I get too close, he'll start attacking me, and maybe I can start hitting him back. And now I'm being ganged up on by 2 bears. And let's see if I can die here, which will lead us into our next video. All right, I died. But what's the problem? No matter how long I wait, I don't respawn, right? I don't respawn. So we need to fix that. In the next video, we'll take a look at how we can respawn things. We'll take a look at the concept of it and actually apply it. So I'll see you guys in the next video.